What it do, Dream Team? It's your boy Neal back with another reaction video, guys. Here we are with American versus British public schools. I'm ready to dive into this and see what all the differences is. But before we see that, make sure you subscribe to the channel, ring notification bell, give the video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. What we got?
You called Mr. Bell a bellend and a pervert?
Yeah. Oh, no, you are. Yeah. What's this? What's this? Oh, I'm going out. WTF? Miss, can I just tell you? I'm sorry to hear that your grandma passed away. I actually am. Obviously, I'm gonna be upset about that, yeah.
No, miss.
How dare you speak to me like that? Turn around!
Come here. Come here. Come here. No. Come here now. Come here now. Get out.
Suck your mom.
Well, what the hell, boy?
Y'all teachers different. Y'all teachers different now. They voices get to the highest level. But y'all kid, what? Just talking back to the teachers like it's no problem. Walking out, clowning on the teachers. Hold up. Alright, American school. I don't know what bro's wearing. I feel sorry.
Come here now. Get out.
Suck your mom.
Well, what the hell, boy?
Oh my goodness.
To be honest, if we're talking about public schools, British schools and American schools are quite similar, but different, if you get what I mean. The law is quite similar, and the types of students and teachers and the things that be going on in school are quite similar. But some of you students in the US get confused with the differences, as there are some key differences from each territory. One difference is the grading system. The Brit and American grading system can be a bit confusing. So allow me to briefly explain what it is. So your school journey starts at the age of 3, and at age 3 to 4 you go to nursery in both the US and the UK. Age 4 to 5 in the US you go to preschool, but in the UK you go to reception. Yes, why the fuck would us Brits call preschool reception? But that shit ain't my fault. Go ask the motherfucker that invented it. Anyways, in 5 to 6 you're at kindergarten, but in the UK you're in year 1. So from year 1 to year 6, you finish primary school in the UK. However, in the US, from 1st grade to 5th grade, you finish elementary or primary school. And you might be asking, why don't we have both UK and US?
See, nursery, lower school, British, American system, British system, preschool, reception. Yeah, I've never heard of that in my life. Middle school starts in year 2. Oh, wow. That's interesting.
US grading systems in the same years. Why is the UK a grade above? Because instead of your US motherfuckers naming age 5 to 6 1st grade, y'all really decided to name it kindergarten. Like, why? Makes no sense. Anyways, after you finish primary school, in the US you start middle school and you're in 6th grade at this time. Then you finish middle school after 8th grade. After that, you start high.
Now, middle school started for me 7th and 8th grade, but I guess in the US it may be different, depending on what state you're in. Because I know it was elementary school, intermediate school, which was 5th and 6th grade, which I think they got rid of intermediate school where I'm at now. So it's elementary schools K through 5. Then you got 6th grade. I don't know what, I guess that's included in elementary now. I don't know what 6th grade is. You still got middle school, 7 and 8, and then you got high school, 9th through 12th.
High school in 9th grade or freshman year, and finish and graduate high school after the 12th grade or senior year. Then if you want to go to college, you use your GPA or you take the SAT. To briefly explain what a GPA and SAT are for my audience not from the US, a GPA means grade point average. It can be calculated on a yearly basis or for your whole course as a whole. All your assignments, tests, work you've done is all added up and calculated throughout the year to get a grade point. And the SAT is a test or an exam taken to go to college, pretty much. Get it? Capiche? Obrigado. In the UK, you start secondary school in year 7 and you finish secondary school all the way up to year 11. Yes, I don't know why we call it years, but if I'm being honest, I'd rather call it years than grade. Why would you call it grade? Why would you call a whole thing that you mark your test with a whole year? Just call it year. Stop calling it grade. That's some bozo ass shit. But anyways, in year 11, you take your final exam you've been preparing for since year 7. That's almost 4 years. These exams are called GCSEs or IGCSEs. After you finish that, you go to further education for the course you have chosen to do in year 11. For example, courses like history, art, languages, religious studies, computer science, whatever. Further education in the UK is called sixth form or college, and you're in year 12 and 13 or junior and senior years there. Then you finish school and choose wherever you want to go to higher education like university or not. In the UK, we have half terms or calendar terms, and in the US, they call them terms semesters.
Yes.
Now, when you guys watch another school video, you won't be confused if a UK YouTuber or US YouTuber is talking about it, and you will know exactly what they're talking about in proportion to the countries. Get it?
I got you.
Later. Anyways,
I appreciate giving me the knowledge, giving me the understanding. Y'all call them terms, we call them semesters. Okay.
we're going to be talking about middle and high school and secondary school in particular. The students in the US have the freedom to wear their own clothes. However, in the UK, we have to wear school uniforms. And
You know what's BS? For my part, sorry I interrupted again. What's BS is that when I was in high school, is literally in my town, they started the dress code as soon as I was going into high school. As soon as I was going into 9th grade, they wanted to implement this dress code. 4 years, dress code. Couldn't wear what you wanted to. I wish. The year after my class graduates, get rid of the dress code. Oh, I was so upset. I was so mad because y'all made us 4 years. I never got to wear, on free dress days, which still costs like $2 to be able to wear what you want. But now, as soon as I graduate, the next kids, free dress code. Oh, that ticked me off so much. All right, continue.
have the freedom to wear their own clothes. However, in the UK, we have to wear school uniforms. And hell, school uniforms are taken very seriously over here in the UK. If you miss any school uniform, like your blazer, don't button up your high collar, loose tie, sag your trousers, or bring anything that's not black school shoes, prepare to get crucified by the teacher. And to be honest, I'm not even mad that you can't even wear your own clothes in English schools, because it's a hassle to choose the best clothes, and you don't want to be the guy that is known for wearing the same clothes over and over again. That's just long. Plus, my closet is so mid, so I would rather wear a school uniform. It's easy to pick out and wear, and no one can judge you because they are wearing the same thing. It's cool that some of you are coming wearing your own clothes, but tell me why.
That's what the no one can judge you. That's why they implemented the dress code here. But no, people was getting judged. Now we got the dress code, but what brand is your clothes? We both got on khaki pants, but you got on that cheap brand of khaki pants. They got on the expensive brand of khaki pants. You're still getting judged.
Some of you guys wear the most silliest garbage to school. Like motherfuckers be wearing pajamas, skirts, outfits, suits with shorts or some shit. And the emo girls and the city girls are literally a different story. I can't even lie to you. That's for a whole nother video. And the shoes y'all be wearing should be a sin in the 10 commandments or some shit. Like how y'all unironically go into your closet and you can wear some trash and think it's a good idea to go to school. Like y'all definitely need your parents to start dressing y'all again outside. But these are some of the people in the streets. Obviously, some of y'all kind of dress relatively well. In the UK, if some motherfuckers misbehaving or straight up being a menace in class or outside of class, there are levels to the punishment depending on their offense. Level 1, you get a warning. Level 2, they scream their lungs out of you. Level 3, you get a detention. Level 4, you get something called isolation. The real rebels and the menaces that have no regard to life go in these isolation. To briefly explain what isolation is, it's basically a discipline where you get removed out of class and go to a certain booth room where it's just yourself, your work, and teachers watching your every move and seeing if you're doing work or not. Just think of it as in a prison.
In America, it's called ISS, or in-school suspension, where you're taken out of class, put in ISS, just like he just explained. You got the thing separating you from the other people that are in there, not allowed to talk, teacher watching your every move, can't fall asleep. Just got to sit in there, stay quiet the whole day, do your work. But yeah, so we got the same thing, just called ISS.
Where you're an inmate in your cell and guards are watching what you do. Then the final level is a suspension. In the US, it's the same thing pretty much. The only difference is that they don't have isolation. You get suspended and excluded depending on the offense. Apparently,
we got isolation, like I said. In-school suspension is what we call it.
Physical punishments are legal in some states. That's kind of wild to me. I can't even lie. Like, imagine getting your ass beat because your dog ate your homework. I thought that only existed in Africa because me personally, I went to school in Ghana, and if you misbehave in any way, just know that you're in for the whoopings of your lives. I ain't gonna cap with you, Beth. It's gonna be absolutely long for you. In the UK, school lunches were decent. The canteen at least made somewhat of an effort to make the student meal nice and digestible. Students in the UK would always look forward to a school lunch. Like, as soon as the class finished, these motherfuckers would leave the class and sprint straight out of class to the canteen just to be in the canteen line early. Because if you were lost, your favorite food would have run down and you would have to settle for the garbage. Like, these motherfuckers would sprint to the cafeteria with speed on par with Sonic or this motherfucker. In the US, from what I've seen, school lunches is some of the worst foods I've ever seen served to students in history. I mean, look at this. This shouldn't be allowed of any sort. Whose idea was it to be serving this garbage? If school chefs are serving this, they must really despise their jobs and despise the students there. Like, what the hell is this? What is it? I can't lie, full sorry for you guys in the US, because if they did this foolishness in the UK, I would personally deport myself back to Africa, because at least they made some good and ready cooked meals. Then when
Nah, it ain't that bad, bro. Them pictures must have been like worst cafeteria food served ever in the US, because I'm not saying it's good. But what they showed in the pictures, it is not that bad. That's insane. You get different lunch lines to figure out what you want. You got your sandwich line, your whatever they're cooking for that day line, your line where you got chicken sandwiches and all that burgers, and you can get snacks or whatever. You also got vending machines around. And over here, we'll sprint to that lunch line too, not because your favorite food ran out, but because you only get a certain amount of time to eat. And if you get stuck waiting at the end of that line, by the time you get your food, you got like 3 minutes left to eat. And it's like, bro, like, so you sprint to get first to have time to eat and socialize with your friends.
Deport myself back to Africa, because at least they made some good and ready cooked meals. Then when you finally finish school after years, been about damn time. In the US, you graduate high school. There's a ceremony to commemorate the work you did in high school. The seniors will receive their high school diplomas, and the class president will give out a graduation speech. But from what I've seen, some of these speeches are one of the most awkward but funniest pieces of non-fiction I've ever watched. Imagine if the types of students like the depressed kid or the menaced kid had a graduation speech. Like, motherfucker, I will pay to watch that shit. Motherfuckers do crazy shit in this ceremony, as well as like, how do you have the balls to do this? Graduation also includes gifts, and the best of all, the grad parties. Did y'all ever go to grad parties?
It's not usually I'm sorry, keep correcting, but it's not the class president that gives the speech. It's the valedictorian, the person who has the best grades in the class. Overall, the best grades out of that whole year of students that's graduating.
Graduation also includes gifts, and the best of all, the grad parties. Did y'all ever go to grad parties? Let me know down in the comments down below. Compared to the UK, when we finish year 11, aka 10th grade, and we basically finished secondary school, and we have an assembly of rewards for the students who did their best. Stuff like subjects, good behavior, who did the most work, ECT, and then a final thank you and goodbye, some wholesome stuff. After the assembly, we celebrate after the school, signing the shirts with boards and pens, writing heartwarming messages like good luck and stuff. Like, I can't even lie, this was one of the most wholesome stuff I've ever done as a celebration of finishing school ever. And of course, the best thing about finishing secondary school was prom. Prom was definitely my favorite part of finishing it. The party happened at night. The parties were like raves. The DJs were playing classic house songs. Everyone ate and danced. It was too late. Unfortunately, I did not have a prom date, but I still took these cool photos of the girls. Oh, I'm just that guy, G. Too much risk. You know that. Overall, which one is better, American high school or British high school? I will answer this with no bias, and we'll be choosing which one is better based on 5 different categories: overall enjoyment, education, food, the students and the teachers. In terms of the food, the UK wins by 1 point because I don't have to repeat myself again.
I'll give it to you.
Effort. And straight out garbage the food is in an American high school. Now, over enjoyment, I've not been to an American high school before, so I can't really speak on that.
It's
so I'll give 1 point to both schools. For the education system, we all have to agree that UK schools are better. Most of you are in the US, therefore know damn well you don't pay attention to those boring ass classes. In the UK, they at least make them somewhat engaging. In terms of the people, therefore 1 point to the American high schools. I don't need to go to the US to know that people in American high schools are very vibrant and social, and they just have way more character to them. Motherfuckers in the UK are just mid, including myself. I was the most quiet and the most boring yes man in my school. I didn't speak unless I was spoken to, and I just did what my teachers told me to do. I was literally just the biggest.
That was me.
The only thing that was
that was literally me in school. But yeah, it was, you had all your class, you had your different, I'm guessing it's probably similar in UK. You got your class, you got your different social groups, your athletes, your robotics club. Most people, know what I'm saying? You just you picked a club or a sport and you kind of stuck around those people.
Interesting about me was that I was just naturally goofy, and I looked like celebrities like Lil Nas X or footballers like Bukayo Saka or Samuel Titi. That's what everyone told me. But I digress. Teachers in UK schools are very strict as they care about your education. But obviously, not all of them care about your education. And I do not know how the teachers are in an American school, so I will give 1 point to both schools for the teachers. So British schools have the most points overall, so pretty much British high school wins. No biasness, just the facts. So let me know if you want me to do a part 2 of this video. I appreciate if you like and subscribe to the channel. Other than that, have a good day, love.
I feel like you definitely did help me understand a bit of differences between the US and the UK schools. I'd be intrigued. I wish I could experience UK high school. I'm sad I didn't. I watched the In-Betweeners though. If that's an accurate depiction of the UK high school, it seemed funny. But that's all we got. You guys have a favorite video suggestion, you can subscribe to Patreon or drop it in the comment section. It's your boy Neal. Out.